Good morning. It is Tuesday, the 27th of January. Okay, so let's just talk quickly about the sort of medium time, low time frame stuff that's going on here at the moment, just so we can address that, and then I'll move to some sort of higher time frame thoughts. So obviously we came into the composite value lows on Sunday night, a lot of shorting into the hole here, and a decent passive bid which defended the lows. So yesterday, unable to find exceptions within the comp initially, we swept into the 10-week composite lows, a 4-hour gap here, another attempt at the composite lows, failed, and we're still unable to get inside this 6-day composite, right? I think the rhythm here is quite telling. So, we've had this kind of displacement. We haven't really seen a decent rotation into value yet, which is suggestive of this holding. So for now, this composite is still acting as resistance, and we are probably going to print an inside day, I would suggest. So yesterday was very balanced. This TPO is a joke, really is bad. Don't even see why they bother. Does it want to load? No. We'll just go over to Key Attacker. It's a little bit better. Need to change my tick size on here as well, to be honest. But you can see how we had a very balanced day yesterday. So I think on that basis, reasonable to assume more of the same. Kind of have a 2-day comp, Sunday and Monday forming. So 88.6 to 87k. 88.6 seems to be capping upside at the moment. So let's just bring this back up. We'll just go back to auto. Yeah. I mean, you could argue, yeah, I can make a composite here, right? That's fine. But whatever. It doesn't really matter. It looks to me as though we're just balancing here for now and unable to find exceptions in this previous value, which is the important thing. So unless we can, obviously, I think, as I've outlined before, if we keep trading in this area, it's obviously going to make a break towards the lows. So if we're unable to get inside 88.3, this kind of idea that we chop between the lower part of this range, between the volume composite lows and this composite here, would lead to a breakdown, right? Well, when I say a breakdown, I mean a drive towards the lows. And I think at this point, it's worth just fleshing out some sort of higher time frame thinking, right? Because let's clean this up. So it was a good long here, right? It was definitely a good long, but there's no momentum, right? It's just chop, which is not what you really want to see at a bottom, right? You want to see much more response and more imbalance with buyers really in control, and that just doesn't appear to be the case here right now. So let's assume that you have a bullish thesis, a bullish outlook on this market, which I think is valid. Right? There are lots of good reasons for it. The next question is, well, how am I going to express that? And where do I want to actually get positioned? I mean, usually the best place to get positioned is on a failed break to the downside. And we haven't really seen that. We had kind of a pretty lame attempt here in the middle of December, and we just tagged value lows so far this week. Typically what you see is a big displacement to the downside and a failed breakdown. That's what we got here in last April. It's what we got here in June. It's what we got here in September even. And the same is true of the upside. You want to see a failed break to the upside, failed break to the upside, failed break to the upside. We've had a failed break to the upside. I haven't yet seen much of a failure to the downside. So that just enables a lot of positioning to get taken out, a lot of new positioning to get trapped, and larger players to step in and absorb the selling. So that's really what I want to see. I want to see some violence and a bigger attempt to break down, to really give me conviction that this is a decent bottom. And that probably means something below 84k, I would suggest, taking out these lows and possibly even to take out this low. I mean, usually we do take out the low. It's happened here. It's happened here. It happened down here. So, don't rule out the possibility that we get a big wick lower and take out 80k, even if you are, bigger picture bullish. I think that possibility cannot be ruled out. So, as it is, looks like we're still being capped at the 7 day, still unable to find acceptance within this comp, and therefore just leaning towards more chop in this lower part of the range, and that probably precedes a breakdown, right? So that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. I think, I'd be much more willing to look for swing longs sub 84k, where we've got a discount versus value. This was the best short, best long's going to be lower down. Okay, so I think that's all I have to say on this right now. Either we'll get momentum continuation and a genuine breakdown, which is going to take us much, much lower, probably towards 67 to 70k, or, the selling here gets absorbed and it's a failed break, we reclaim value, and then it's an easy long towards, 108k or so. So the bull case is definitely there. I mean, BTC gold ratio, massive area of support that we've come into. So, it's important that BTC does at least attempt to make a bottom here, I think. So yeah, I mean, it's a good area, right? It could just take a little bit of time to materialize, whether it's a week or more. We're probably not too far away from starting to round out. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. I mean, ETH is looking pretty similar. Let's just come to the 4 hour. So struggling at this point of control. Previous quarter's value low, and also the 7 day VWAP. Does ETH make a third drive to the downside? Do we just take out this flat 4 hour into this imbalance? Not sure, but it doesn't necessarily. I wouldn't want to be long here personally. We're finding resistance at that POC for the time being. So not too convincing on ETH right now. I mean, pre-FOMC, I think there's not really a great deal to do. I'm sort of just leaning towards doing nothing for a day or two and just really just letting it play out. Maybe we get some selling into FOMC, which is a bid, but for now, trying to do as little as possible. AXS, I mean, a little bit ambiguous, but we're trying to find acceptance back within this 2 day comp. We could wick into this gap potentially. I think what I expect to see with it is it just chops and distributes for a period of time. Very unusual to see this kind of run up and then for it just to die straight away. So even if it distributes a bit lower down, I'm not necessarily sure that it's just gonna roll over straight away, particularly given the way funding is looking right now. So I'm not really doing anything on this coin for the time being. Too ambiguous. Sol, I mean, I took a short here yesterday. I closed it out for like almost nothing. Could it push higher? Maybe. I think if the market does break lower, Sol could potentially see 100, but a huge area of support that hasn't broken down yet. So this 118 area, is capped downside many times. So it's difficult area to be positioned on. So I would say nothing really clear for me at the moment. Yes, this is resistance, but could easily trade back up into the 30-day VWAP, test this high volume node or something like that. So I just need to wait on Sol for now. There's nothing to do. What else? I mean, I just feel absurdly stupid for missing these pump and hype pumps. I've been saying for some time I think they're the best coins. Sure enough, they're the only things that are really doing particularly well right now. So pump, just wicked below value here. on Sunday and reclaimed, pretty easy long. Height, that huge area around 20, and then just retesting demand here before breaking up. So I think possible dip buying scenarios on height would be into this kind of area around 26 monthly value high. Probably want to see that hold if we're going to trade higher. Maybe that imbalance was in play that I called out some time ago, which I think was up here. Yeah, around 32. So I think I'd look to buy a dip on hype if it comes, but no guarantees it's going to happen. Very one-way traffic at the moment. Yeah, pretty disappointed in myself for missing those. Shit happens. Nothing else is doing anything, is it? It's just those two coins, really. Quite interesting. So yeah, I think BTC is just going to print an inside day, most likely. It's not going to be very interesting. I'm much more interested below 86k into the sort of potentially as low as 80. But we'll see how that one plays out. But yeah, no signs of acceptance here at the moment inside this comp. So there's no long for me right now. It's pretty much it. I mean, there's not much to do at the moment, I don't think. Oh, lit. I've got a tiny bag of lit. I think this looks pretty good, actually. So we have now successfully shifted back inside this value, this 180 level, which has capped us for a long time, right? Since the 22nd, it's a long time in crypto terms. And now that's the first sort of bullish change we've seen for a very long time, since we sort of broke down from here. So, or even earlier. Yeah, from here. So we've got this breakout here, failed, and then it's just been down only ever since. This is the first real sort of clear bullish acceptance we've seen since this breakdown. So I think lit is the other good coin, beyond hype and pump right now, which is, I guess, somewhat mitigating my misery. At least I have some exposure to this. And I think, if it continues to trade up, there's no reason why we shouldn't come back into this area, maybe test listing VWAP, this untested level at sort of 250-ish, maybe even this high volume node. But I think it can continue to trade up, right? There's no reason it shouldn't necessarily. After the first bullish change, but needs to break out of this value and then reclaim 211, and then I think, then it probably does go towards this 250 area. So I think that's about it. Bit of patience needed right now, I think, just a bit of patience. I mean, I don't think intraday conditions are that great. Sure, there are moves. This was a good long here yesterday that I didn't take. The shorts, I mean, 1% on XRP, 0.2% on Sol, like nothing, nothing to write home about really. So not great intraday conditions. But I think, probably just going to chop here and break lower would be my assumption. And then I really want to see buyers step in lower down for us to make a good low. And that pretty much sums it up. So I'll probably leave it there. Then I'm going to repeat myself and become aimless. And I will speak to you later on in the week. Cheers.